Dungeon Crawler Network presents Tales of Tamriel. Dungeon Crawler Network presents Tales of Tamriel.
Good evening, Dungeon Crawlers. I am Aggelos, and this is episode 100, and I don't even know, of Tales of Tamriel. Somehow or another, I am back. I think Ark tricked me. It's vile sorcery. Vile sorcery. But I am joined by a very dear friend, Elloa. How are you, Elloa?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much to have me on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm trying to remember the last. I know you came on this show back on like episode 33, and then again somewhere else.
100 something.
100? Yes, we had a video of you on 100, and I could have swore you were on one more time before that. I'd have to look back. So now you're back again on whatever episode we are on right now, of which I don't know what it is.
It's okay. It's a mystery episode.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, Ark is unfortunately not feeling all that well. So I said, hey, why don't I do a solo episode? No, that didn't obviously happen. Elloa was like, you know what? Don't do a solo episode. I'm here, and I'm the coolest person in the world, so therefore...
I didn't say that. I didn't say the last part.
She didn't say the last part. I'm just
superimposing
her words. So, she was kind enough to jump in on.
I think that to do a solo show, it's so much effort, and it's, you're talking a lot. Even if you're capable of doing, it's still such a massive time to talk alone, and it's better to have someone to answer to, I think.
Yeah,
so
well, I definitely agree.
Abandon you.
Solo shows are very difficult, especially when you're trying to hit a certain time range to make it worthwhile of a podcast. You tend to ramble on a little bit in order to make the show stretch out a little bit. You don't want like a 5-minute show for an audio podcast, or what's the point of even putting it out in the first place?
Indeed.
I don't know. So, anyway, we were going to talk before this. Like, what have you been doing in Tamriel this week?
Oh, I've been doing dungeons, because that's almost what I'm doing lately. I'm of course enjoying everything, but when I play ESO, I like to play with other people. So group dungeon seems to be the nice things to do, and there's always someone that kind of want to do something, and so proposing, you want to do a dungeon, etc. And so yesterday I had someone who is watching my stream usually, and that started the game recently, so he has a new character and such, and so we did some dungeon. First dungeon we did was a normal dungeon, and we just like bram into it, and we bram into the second one, and said, okay, now we will do a veteran one, because we need a little bit of challenge. So there was me as a healer with my Templar that I have respected in Frost Witch, and so she has still healing spells, but not the normal one that other Templar are using, because I don't want to do like everyone else, so I'm doing my way. And there was a very good tank. And the other DPS, I do not know. It's also someone that's come on my stream. I do not know exactly how was his character is built. But we really had problem of DPS on the last boss, and it was quite challenging suddenly to, wow, this fight stayed long. It was dire frost, and we had this last boss, and she was not losing her life, and we didn't know what to do, what we needed to do to make her lose her life. And I was trying my best to heal and DPS in the same times with my frost spells against a frost witch. I don't know if it works at all, but whatever. Well, we finished to do it. And then we did Banish Itself to We thought it would be easy. No, and we were too tired. And this last boss, it was just not. And you had all the ads popping up, and there was the tank followed by 7 Daedra, and this boss was still 90% life, and it was not too difficult. So we give up. Also, I disconnected. The one time we were almost killing the boss, I disconnected. And so we wiped, and after we attempted again, and it was not going fine, and so we just dropped it. So that's my week.
I was watching that stream, and I was like, in chat, like, 'cause I wasn't sleeping, and I log on, and there's Elloa, so I'm like, I'm going to watch her stream. And I'm like laying in bed with my phone going, pull the Daedra to the boss. It was an entertaining one because I swear at a certain time, like your net died, and I thought it was my net, and I'm like trying to reconnect a bunch of times. But a few times it kicked me off earlier, and I came back in like 10 minutes later, and I swear it was the same fight going on. I was like, I don't know how she's doing it. She's like trying to heal everyone. Their life's going down. She's healing, and then like she gets the Daedra runes, has to run away, and everyone dips really low, and somehow she manages to get them all back up. And then
That's
like
the power of Breath of Life.
I know you were saying like you had lower DPS because the boss's health was pretty much at like full the entire time. And I think you were like the only one DPSing the actual orbs as they were coming near you because the DPS were off, I don't know, hitting the Daedra with feather pillows, it looked like. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I really tried to help the team. But the thing is that when we see that nicely in one Tamriel, and this is something I've discussed in the Elite cast last week, we need more difficulties, different style of difficulty, because you have the normal modes for the casual player or the new player that have no gear or not much experience. Nothing wrong with that, of course. And that's super easy. For an average player, it's too easy. For good players, it's just like it's free loot.
Free loot indeed.
It's free loot in 5 minutes. So that's mode is one. And then you have the veteran mode, which for me it's the good mode for me when I'm in a group with person of around my level. But then you need something in between the normal and the veteran, and something higher than the veteran for the Delta Fengush Cypher kind of person that know everything about the game and need a real challenge. And so for difficulty will be better, or difficulty slider, or way to progress in difficulty, or something.
Well, both you and I know not so much you at this point, but both we've been playing Legion, at least when it first came out, and their dungeon, like, the way they set up their dungeons, they have the normal difficulty, they have a heroic difficulty, and then they have a mythic, so you get your 3 levels of difficulty, but then they also have the mythic keystones, which the difficulty goes up and up and up, and I think something like that would be amazing in this type of game, because it does provide those levels of difficulty that the higher end players could be going for the mythic plus. I'm using WoW terms here because I don't know what they'd call it here, but the plus dungeons to make it more and more difficult.
Yeah, it will be perfect, because in ESO and more than in any other game, there is such difference in skill between players, and there's first the abilities to play the game with your fingers. Because some person are more clumsy than other. You have the knowledge of the game, having the right build, the right gear, etc. You have also the efficiency of your gear to have a gold one instead of a green one. And then you have this animation cancellation, all those little plus that the very, very good players can do. And so you have a newbie players and expert players, they will pull out such a different sort of DPS, and so much more than in a game like World of Warcraft or like any other game, and so this disparity between players can cause problems. That's why you have some elitist players that make groups they require you to have that number of champion points, or they don't want to see your face in their group. And you have the newbie players that are a bit like, oh, but this is impossible, I cannot do this boss, this game is too difficult, nerf, nerf, nerf.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Now, and this is something I actually just thought about, and I know you were kind of worried before we started the show because we were talking before this, like, you're going to blow everything. Well, I told you, I can always figure stuff up to talk about. Something that kind of bothers me, and I never really realized it bothered me until right now. We have our set difficulties within ESO, all right? But you know, like, the major competing factor within ESO for trials and the Dragonstar Arena and Maelstrom Arena are the leaderboard, doing it in the fastest time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I find more enjoyment over the Mythic Keystone in WoW because as the number goes up, it gets more difficult. I like how, and it has a time factor a little bit to add to like a score, like to make sure that you can progress. But do you like doing the same difficulty and seeing if you can do it faster and faster, or would you like to rather have as a term of competing, having the difficulty go up and up and up?
Oh, me, yeah, that's easy. Anyone that knows me know I don't like to hurry, I don't like, so now I don't like a rush run. Mm-hmm. Because it forces you to pull out the best DPS possible, mm-hmm. while you can handle difficulty in different way. Like this banished cell boss, if we had managed to do it, it would have maybe take 30 minutes or 40 minutes to beat the boss, but we would have done it because we, and this happened on many other occasions, just not yesterday, but because your ability of surviving or lasting, of resurrecting the fallen and still going on. It's also a way of managing the difficulty. It's different, but it's nice too. While when you have the speed run, it forces players to emphasize everything on DPS. And DPS is only one way of playing the games. Not everyone enjoy to pull out the maximum of DPS because there is no limit. You can always do better. I don't like it. I don't mind DPS if I can just nicely laid back DPS. I don't want to start to min-max and be like, that just annoys me.
Right.
But I enjoy to survive and run around and rest the dead and heal fast or stuff like that.
Right. And I mean, this game really lends itself to that with the different gear sets, the fact that you can grab all these different skill lines and make a deck of skills that you can play. For instance, I know a lot of people doing Vet, Maelstrom Marine, especially as a stamina DPS of some type, there are more optimized gear you can get to pull out higher numbers, like Twiceborn Star, Night Mother's Gaze, Hundings, that will pull out higher DPS numbers than Vicious Ophidian. But Vicious Ophidian, with the stamina return and some of the set bonuses you get, is almost, especially if you're having trouble with Maelstrom Arena, is a way of giving you that boost, that extra survivability, that extra resource regeneration to allow you to push forward. And I don't know, I kind of like the whole idea of, like even in Warcraft, what mythic level are you up to right now? Well, I'm a mythic 7. Like, that's how, I was able to do mythic difficulty then plus 7, where they add all these different things to make it harder, like, a constant aura of like minor defile where you're 30% extra less healing. There's a lot of stuff you could do with dungeons to make them more difficult, to not make it a speed run, because it's like, great, I finished Maelstrom Arena, I'm number 1, I did it in 10 minutes, great, all right, awesome. I'd rather see a number go up, because we're people, we like, despite what people say, they like math. And seeing that higher number is something people shoot for. DPS, higher number, they like that. So I would love to see more dungeon difficulties and acquiring, that middle tier to make you something between the veterans and the normals, which are way easy and the veterans are way hard comparatively to each other. and then being able to take the veterans even further by intentionally going, okay, I'm going to do a veteran +1, which now makes all the monsters have 30% more health, do more damage. Whatever you could do to make it more difficult, so it wasn't so much a speed run as I have to survive as I get harder and harder difficulty.
Yeah, they could either do that for all dungeons that we have already right now, or they could do like Guild Wars 2 did. And this is something I repeat so often because I really like the way they did the fractals. And where you have this, so you could do Pocket of Oblivion, and it will be small little dungeon that you could do, and you could have I like the fractals, random dungeons that pop out. You do it, you finish it, then you can do the next set, and it will be harder, and you can climb up in the difficulty like this as well. And I think that this principle that you have in different games, you have that also in Diablo, which is not an MMORPG, but you have this system in Diablo, you have this system in Guild Wars 2, now in World of Warcraft. There's plenty
have
of
that
games
system in the game that you've been playing a lot of, Final Fantasy XIV as well. It's called Palace of the Dead.
Oh, I did that today.
Completely random, which is actually kind of neat, because when you go into this dungeon, you have to clear these different floors, and despite what some people say about Palace of the Dead, the concept is really neat. It's a Diablo-esque dungeon crawler where you get put in, you have to clear a floor, and then advance to a next floor, but every floor is randomized. Within lore, you could do that like you said. They could design pockets of oblivion. I don't know. They design small little maps, 20 of them, whatever, and then you randomize them when you jump in, going, okay, you're getting pocket 1, 7, 4, and 21. So you don't know what, you can't really speed run them in that case because you don't know what the next floor is going to be. Yeah,
and they could make it also. What I enjoy in Fractal is that every one were very different. You had different mechanics and different stuff going on, and some sort of mini game. Even you could really enjoy something like that and make very nice and fun little dungeon that are a little bit more original than the classical dungeon, and still allow the players to progress and still face more and more difficulty, because I believe that a lot of players will enjoy it. Will be perfect because the casual players will enjoy to do them just for the variety of it, for the loot, whatever. They will not maybe go very high, but they can still enjoy it. And then you have those elitist players, hardcore players. They could really compete and go the furthest possible, and it will be endless.
You talked about fractals, and one of my favorite fractals is, and I was just thinking about how could they implement it in ESO. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with the hammer that you have to carry up the Titan.
Oh, yes! I remember that on the
You have to dedicate one player to holding the hammer, but you can't hold it all the time or it eventually kills you. They could do that with like the Wabbajack, and as a player's holding it, they slowly go insane, so you have to flop it back and forth.
There's so many things they could do with this system. That would really be cool. I really wish that they do something like that. Pocket of Oblivion.
That would really be cool. And the nice part about Oblivion, and I think I said this before when we talked about arenas and battlegrounds and stuff like that, how they could utilize Oblivion and take artistic license with it, because I don't know about you, but I love the lore of Elder Scrolls, and for them to change the landscape of Tamriel that we know so well to fit a meta battle like a capture the flag or something would really annoy me, because it's like that's not the way that the Colovian Highlands look, right? Like that's just not the way they look, and I don't like that you change that. But with Oblivion, you have license to do with whatever you want, because it's constantly flux and changing, and who knows. So,
yeah.
I've been playing a little bit of ESO this week, and I've been playing with Robot Dancer lately. She was actually going to come on the show, but unfortunately, I missed her, and trying to get a time together to do all this. So then Elloa bailed me out. But we were running and doing dailies and doing a little bit of questing in Malabal Tour, and doing, of course, the Witches Festival to finish that off, and that was really, really cool. So she's been keeping me company the past few nights in ESO, which is awesome. And I actually ran a dungeon with Nerdman and Linway again, which are two of my favorite people in the game. They were actually the first people to help me get a clear on Veteran White Gold Tower and Veteran ICP before the nerfs happened. So I was really excited about that. And she's like, "Hey, do you want to come on? Do you have a tank set, right?" And I was like, "Oh, sorta," because I have that play build that I've been playing with, which is a two-handed Templar tank. It uses the Undaunted. What is it? The Inner Fire for a taunt, because two-handed doesn't have a taunt, but you can use the Undaunted one, and it focuses on damage shields. So I'm a Templar. So I can stack damage shields with Blazing Shield and Brawler from the two-handed cleave line. So
Yeah.
I can't die on that build. Like, it's insane.
It is funny because this is a little bit how I play my Nord tank. Yeah, which is 39, so it's low level. It's a 9 blade with 200. I also have a shield, a second weapon. But most of the time, because it's not really needed, I'm only doing normal dungeon. Most of the time being with my two-hander and brawling and cleaving and it's kind of funny.
I do that exact same thing, and I've done veteran dungeons with this thing. Okay, like it's not like I just play around with it.
It gives me hope, but I'm still in medium armor for now, so maybe I will have to step up a bit better.
I use heavy armor. I use Armor Master, and then I put the elude from the medium armor on, so it gives you 30 seconds of the dodge buff, the 18% chance to miss or dodge. So it's just like Hiss Bark, but whenever you activate it, it gives you like, how much does it give? Like 15k resistances. I am resistance capped on a two-handed tank. I don't even need a shield, and I'm already at resistance cap.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Ark, when we first did, he's like, you should at least put a sword and shield on your back bar, because that's what some people do. I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything anyone else is doing, okay? We're doing two-handers. They both have different bars. One's my tank bar, which is Brawler and Blazing Shield. Like, they both have Blazing Shield on them, but one has Brawler. The other one has, and Vigor and stuff, the other one has the Templar ability Rune Focus, Channeled Focus, which restores your Magicka. So that's the bar. I pop that down, pop it, so I get Magicka back, so I can keep Blazing Shield going. And yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun with that build, so I ran that. But
that's nice.
Yeah.
I see that we have the same mindset when it comes to create our build and character. Fuck the meta.
Yeah, screw it. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, nope, I'm doing it this way. And I've run quite a few dungeons. I've done Veteran White Gold Tower and... No, just White Gold Tower. I didn't do ICP with it yet. Mostly because I can't find anyone who wants to do ICP. Because it's so long. I like long dungeons, but people who just want the reward want to get in and get out very quickly. So
Yeah. This is a little bit sad because... Well, I understand, but what's the point of playing? When they have the rewards, they do what after that? Mm-hmm. Because for me, the main purpose is to enjoy the dungeon. So right. I'm enjoying the dungeon. I don't really care about the gear I got in it, because what I wanted to do was to do the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right.
So,
well, that was pretty much all I did, so we should probably talk about news, which is what we're here to talk about now. First off, last Monday, I think it was, we had a maintenance that hit. And when it hit, it actually caused a couple problems. First off, Gina went to the forums and said that after yesterday's PC maintenance concluded, we ran into an issue where gathering plundered skulls for the Witches Festival event was not adding to your progress toward all Plunder Skull related activities, including the Plunder Skull Enthusiast, Plunder Skull Aficionado, Plunder Skull Fanatic, which is the 10, 50, 100 skulls. They were going to make an effort to do a hotfix that day, but found that hotfix needed to be included in the next PC incremental patch, which was then scheduled for Monday, October 31st. So for a week, they haven't been able to increase your plundered skull rate. However, they did increase. This was supposed to end actually today, but they gave us an extra week, right, Elloa?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think it's now going to end November 8th for PC and Mac, which is Tuesday, November 8th at 9 a.m. when they do their reset or whatever it is. So you have an extra week of double experience or whatever. I think it's double experience when you're under the skeleton effect, and you can collect more plundered skulls.
Yeah, I know. I should enjoy it more, but I'm tired of looking like a skeleton, so I've dropped it. I'm so stupid. I'm so vain. I enjoy the skeleton only when I play on my Khajiit, because I have a Khajiit skeleton, and that's fun.
They changed
but when I'm on my female character and I'm looking like a stupid human skeleton, nah, it's not fun. So I'm not using it.
Looking good's half the battle, right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying more the new masks they have sold in the current store, which is the Khajiit mask and the old mask. I find it kind of fun. I made up a costume that fits. And so I'm playing the Witch Festival in my own way without the experience for this.
The Ice Witch Khajiit, that's what she is. I don't know how you manage to pull that off if you're a Khajiit from elsewhere, because that's a desert, so not a lot of frost out that way.
Because that's a Breton, actually. But she has a Khajiit mask. That one is a Breton. My Khajiit is a Dragon Knight Archer.
Okay, alright. It was so convincing that I thought it was just a Khajiit.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people say, hey, look, I don't have a tail, okay?
Well,
I'm not a Khajiit. Khajiit have the tail.
I guess at that point I feel like I've failed because I haven't been checking out your Khajiit's butt. It's, too gentlemanly, I guess, because I haven't been looking. Yes. I just saw the face. I'm like, hey, it's a Khajiit, and I never once looked at the Tuchus. That's a problem. This Monday, we had another patch which caused an issue. While fixing these skulls, it caused some issues mostly on the EU mega server more than on the North American, but the community manager Kai came on the forums and acknowledged that they're investigating the reasons for the regional crashes for when they release this hotfix. It was actually causing people to crash out and roll back 10-15 minutes at a time to where they were at pretty much at the last incremental save for the database. So whatever they have their database set at to save progress, which might be, I don't know how long that's internal to them, but it was rolling back every 15 minutes or so. And Reddit, obviously, was complaining about that. And I guess after they took the servers down, and it was quite a while, too. I think it was like 4 hours of being down on Monday. Because it didn't come back up. Let's see. Servers went down at 9:47 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and did not come back up until almost 2 in the afternoon. So that was quite a length of time there.
I know a lot of people complain about all the maintenance that we had lately, but better to have maintenance than to still continue to have bugs and such.
Right.
So.
Well, and this maintenance was not intended. It was whatever they released after their maintenance period that was causing the rollbacks, is why they had to take the servers back down. They released a little incremental patch, which we will talk about here in just a few minutes. But when that patch came out, it was causing some other issues, especially on the EU server. I didn't hear much on the North American side. I don't know if it was specifically with EU, but that kind of sucks, because I think at that time it was almost their prime time, wasn't it?
The prime time.
prime time play. 9 in the morning, 6 hours. What is that? Like 3 in the afternoon. So it's getting close to playtime for
That's
them.
not the prime time. That's not the prime
That's
time.
not
The prime time, it's around 8.
Well, that's prime time around here, but people are getting off work, I'm assuming. You know, people are not, you know, more people would be logging on around in the afternoon than in the morning. At least that's how it is here in the States.
You're here too. Yeah.
Well, with that kind of troublesome patch, we had a incremental patch, which was ESO patch 2.6.7, which hit both mega servers. Even though it did cause some rollbacks. This was an incremental patch that did fix a few issues surrounding itemization, dungeons, dark anchors, as well as fixing an issue where Undaunted Delve daily quests were not cycling properly.
That's nice.
Yeah, I got the
Because
same Delve like 4 days in a row.
that was a problem that every week I say, did I have fixed this? And I was getting the pledge to say, still the same. Okay, so I've not fixed it yet. Never mind. So it's nice that I've done because it was a nice ID and it was not enjoyable because it was always the same quest.
Right. Some of the itemization that was fixed is the Lord Warden's mask in Imperial City Prison, which is kind of odd because I'm surprised anyone even found this bug because I didn't know anyone still does Imperial City Prison. But it was dropping the incorrect set items. So now you will receive the proper set items from the dungeon's final boss, as well as they fixed an issue where the Lord Warden's Dusk monster mask was dropping in blue quality on Veteran when it was intended to be purple. I don't know about you, but I have tons of purple upgrade materials, but for people who don't, that might have been kind of a pain in the bum, since you should have got a purple.
Yeah, especially that Lord Warden is probably one of the hardest fights in the game, I think.
Well,
at least in Veteran.
I haven't done the Shadows of the Hiss dungeons yet, but he was very difficult, and he's so much fun to do.
It's more difficult than the Shadow of the Hiss dungeon.
Oh, is it? Really?
In my opinion, yes. The Shadow of this dungeon are really, really fun. I really like the way they are, the strategy you have to use and such. It's fun. But Lord Warden, it's such a pain. And it is fun because I remember when I did it on the test server, I did not do the proper strategy. Because it do set an explosion. You know, when you fly, make an explosion. I was healing through. Because they say, we need to... Yes, I was healing through that one. And it was working, or sometimes someone was dying, but it was working. I never knew you had to pass through those things. But when you do Veteran, you cannot heal through, so...
Yeah, you were doing it. I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness, how are people surviving that? Because that was almost an instant if you didn't get sucked through the shadow realm. That was hit like a truck.
Yeah, I was really surprised because that's something that I really like, is when you discover a boss and you do not know what it's doing, you have to figure out what it's doing. So that's why I like to test the new dungeon on PTS, because no one knows. And you have to discover, and you arrive to a fight like an idiot, and you say, no, this is not working, the blocking doesn't work, healing doesn't work, we should do something here, what's the mechanism? You have to understand it. And when you discover it, it's very fun. If the boss is too easy, then you can skip it without realizing that there was something that needed to be done.
I don't know if you noticed. Oh, there she goes again. Oh, she's being so sweet right now. My cat's being frisky on the stream. So gently caressing my face. Just like, yes. Ain't that right? She's like, I'm going to lower... Oh, there she goes again. I'm going to lower the camera here so people can see. No, don't move. She moved because I moved the camera. She's like laying her head up against me.
Maybe she was your wife in a different life.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Yeah, I guess if you believe in reincarnation, then there she is. My wife in a different life just reincarnated as a cat. I'm not really sure what hierarchy cats hit for reincarnation, but...
It doesn't matter. That's not the purpose. Maybe she just came to I don't know, continue or sharing something or supporting you. Maybe her mission is just that.
Well, she definitely does that. Don't
So you see?
Yes, you do. Okay, all right then. So she's just like laying here on my shoulder and just like, I'm just going to sit here. That's cool. All right, well, we're going to continue with the show notes if you don't mind, Penelo. Okay, all right. She's like, okay, I accept this. All right, a few other things I'll hit. It's not a whole bunch, but one of the issues, it's not really even so much of an issue, but during the Witches Festival, I'm sure you guys all saw people dropping AoE like crazy on the Dark Anchors. Well, they fixed it so that the monsters summoned from the Dark Anchors no longer take damage before they land. They also fixed the Dread Flesh Colossus and the Dread Grievous Twilights. They will now drop loot where they were not dropping loot before. So, I know those seem kind of like, is that really a big deal? But with Dark Anchors being such a, well, two things. The Fighters Guild quest now sending people out to do Dark Anchors every day, as well as they being one of the best ways to get plundered skulls, people are doing them a lot. So,
Well, anyway, when you have an issue in these discoveries, you fix it, if possible.
absolutely.
Doesn't matter if it's not a big deal or not.
Well, that's what should happen. But
Yeah, anyway, it will be a big deal for someone that will make a post
right,
about it.
somebody's having a problem.
So even if it's just your hair clipping in your arm or something, or someone made a Reddit post because the wedding suit, there was a problem with the legs, or it's really minor detail. It's just a little graphic glitch. And he's very pissed because it's his favorite costume and now it doesn't fit anymore for some reason. So he made a post about it, but I can understand. It's a problem. It can be fixed. So.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's talk about the last little bit of news that we had this week, and it is the showcase for the Crown Store for October 26th, which is all the Crown stuff coming for this month. So I'm going to bring it up here on the video if you are watching. If you are in podcast land, then you'll just have to deal with what our descriptions are, or go home and look it up yourself. All right, there we go. I see it on the stream. So we have a couple costumes coming up. First one being the Abba's Watch turban.
It's a very nice one.
And here we were talking about your Khajiit, who I never checked out her Tukus, and she's actually Breton. I thought, hey, this might actually fit her Khajiit, and then it doesn't matter anyway because she's not a Khajiit. So I like the turbans, and
they're nice, and it's also changed a bit from what's nice with the ESO is that you have so many different cultures. It's respect one kind of culture and can fit different sort of armor. You can have the armor of the Abba Watch and then put this turban on the top. It's nice.
Absolutely. And I described it. It's blue, but with costume dyeing, it could be whatever color you really want. We have the Abba's Watch turban that comes with a mask for those who wish to be a little sneaky. Now you can be. I like the mask too. And is this something that you do? Because whenever I go into a specific area, I like to ride the mount that fits that area. Like I was riding with a robot dancer in the Dungeon Crawler Guild, and we were in Bangkorai, the southern half, so it was kind of deserty. So I got on a camel because it felt right. It just felt right.
Yeah, I'm not really doing that, but I have each of my characters have their own mount, their own style, and so I'm separating. The only thing I do change is the polar bear. It's not going in hot weather. It's not going in the desert. Every time I was in the Alakiro Bangkok, I was changing mount because this poor polar bear. No, but that's the only time I did.
Poor bear's looking at you with its tongue hanging out, going, "This isn't for me. I want to go back to the ice." New crafting motif is coming to the store, which is now they're adding the Thieves Guild. So it's actually been a while since they added the Thieves Guild in. So That's now being added to the Crown Store, so you can get the book. I'm imagining it be about 5,000 crowns, which I should have mentioned that all these things are coming in on November 17th. That's not every item, just those 3 that I mentioned already. For those of you who like personalities, we have the Thief personality coming up, and that is available
will be
on the
very
17th.
nice.
Do you have a Thief character?
I have a thief character, which is my Khajiit, and I also get every personality. It doesn't matter, because I find it so cool to just change a bit the attitude of your character, give it more, I don't know, mood or whatever.
Yeah.
One day, it was stupid, I don't know, yes, I did a Dire Frost dungeon with one of my character, and I changed her costume just to fit it. So I redye my costume, everything, so she was nice to do the dungeon. And then my teammate told me, "Oh, you're in pyjama." I was like, And so I decided that my character would be very offended, and I put the angry mood, and I did the dungeon in angry mood, just for that. And it was just a little thing, but it was fun.
Nice. Nice. If you have an Argonian, which I know my egg sister should have an Argonian. That's you, by the way. There are new
Yeah.
Argonian, what are they called now? I have them up on the stream, but they are called the Lizard Rhinoceros Head Ornament. So you'll be able to get new facial accessories and ornaments. These are coming on November 23rd. So you can see them all nice and shiny on a Khajiit, or not a Khajiit, on an Argonian character. They're pretty ornate.
Yeah,
I kinda
they're
like 'em.
They're very nice because I've tried that on the PTS at some point, and find them very well made. It fits the Argonian race, and it's very different from anything else that you have. So they're really cool.
Nice. November 3rd comes in with the Alliance-themed ornaments. So when you buy these, they are probably tied to whatever faction your character is. You buy it once, so you're probably not buying all 3 of them. It's kind of like when you bought the Alliance horses or the dogs. It's not all. You don't have to buy it 3 times to get, Aldmari Dominion, Daggerfall, and Ebonheart. You buy it once, and whatever faction your character is what is available.
Yes, and probably same with the race as well. It's probably adapt to everyone.
Mhm.
So it's a nice system, I think.
It is, and they kind of portray that a little bit in these pictures here, because if you look, they're showing the Dominion Topaz Circlet and Coronet, and they show it on a human and a Khajiit for one, but when you go to the other picture, they show it on an Argonian. So if your Argonian happen to be, Aldmari Dominion, which if you have the any race, any alliance, you can do that. The Covenant Lion Circlet and Coronet. So you have these for the Daggerfall Covenant. I kind of like that because I like the lion motif. It looks really, really neat. I really like that. And finally, the Ebonheart Pact, which is the Dragon Claw. I'm not as big on this one. I think it's a little too much. Maybe that's just me.
There's certainly people that will make it look nice, and
Yeah.
with some costume and such. It looks a bit like the one Daedric
The Lich helm or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of too. Maybe that's why I'm turned off by it. The wings on it kind of remind me of the helm of every Lich you see in the game. So, new hairstyles are coming in. Long wild locks are available, which look kind of neat. And these are coming on the 23rd of November. Now, this is one that I actually really like. It's the long foregathered mane, and I think this will look amazing on my Khajiit.
Yes, and there's a character in the Thieves Guild, important Khajiit character that have this haircut.
Oh, really? With like the little bangles that are hanging in his hair? Because that looks really cool.
I don't remember his name, but it's one of the main character of the Thieves Guild.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that hair. I like that a lot. Alliance-themed haircuts are now coming as well, and these are coming on the 3rd with the accessories. So we have Warlocks and Lizard Locks for the Aldmari Dominion. The female hair looks kind of neat with that extra braid in the back, like you can see it, like that spider web of braiding in the back, but I'm not real big on the male hair. I don't know if it does the same thing. They don't show the back of that. Maybe it's the same, but I don't know. Like, I feel like that braiding is a little bit more feminine in style.
It's very elfish, I would say.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just feel like on a male character that the back braid's not the problem. It's that weaving that I don't know. I can't see my manly Nord wearing that. But maybe yours would.
maybe not your manly Nords, but you should not wear Almeri Dominion haircut
true.
anyway.
Wouldn't play
But
loud.
I've seen this haircut on some NPCs that were male elf, and it fits. It fits.
Yeah, it would fit
okay.
on an elf. We have the Dominion lizard locks as well, which actually are kind of neat. I like the feather off the back, but I mean, lizard locks, right? Argonian. Daggerfall Covenant, we have the warlocks and the lizard plume, showing the two different hair. Now that kind of, I don't know, Romeo and Juliet-ish style hair, kind of short to an extent, like short long. I used to have hair like that length, not quite that wavy. And, of course, the feathers. Now, these feathers I really like for the Argonian.
Yeah, they're cool.
Especially if you can dye them or something. I don't know if you can, because it's probably... you probably can't. It's probably tied to whatever scale colors your character has, so we'll determine what it looks like.
Probably tied to the color you choose for your hair color. And I don't know what's fit for the... This is probably the feather color of the Argonian. So yes, you can basically change it if you want to spend the money for it.
Right.
The token.
And then, of course, we have the Ebonheart Pact with the Battle Crest and the Lizard Battle Crest. I don't know. It's kind of like a little mohawk that's kind of braided together. It looks kind of neat. I kind of like it.
Well, what I really like is that if it follows the same principle than the other alliance things, it's that you buy one haircut and it will change depending of your faction and the race of your character, which is really, really cool, because then you have changing haircut is nice. You just buy once and it adapts differently on different person. So
that's right. And then there is the Argonian one as well, which of course is still the feather motif that carried through all the other ones, but in a crest instead. Finally, we have Alliance theme markings. Almari Dominion, which we'll pull up here, kind of has a wood elf, kind of Mines of Moria gate kind of thing going on there.
Yes, it's very elfish.
It is. It screams the elven people, which might be a problem if you're from Ebonheart Pact. I know this one was one of your favorite ones that we looked at, right?
Yeah, that's the one I think is the nicest. I don't like the other one.
We have the Daggerfall Covenant. Obviously, you can see the lions on the chest markings, which are pretty neat, as well as you can see a little bit on the back if you look in the mirror. I wasn't real impressed with this one either. I mean, it's clearly Daggerfall. There you go. And finally, the Ebonheart Pact one. Now, this one, I didn't quite get it at first until you look in the mirror and you see the dragon on the back. That kind of swayed me. At first, I was trying to figure out like symbolism. I'm like, well, there's 3 triangles on the chest. Maybe they're trying to reference the tribunal, but doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then Elloa's like, hey, look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, dragon, oh. And it's actually an awesome looking dragon. It kind of reminds me of Alduin from Skyrim. So that's actually really, really cool. Really,
I don't really like the tattoo that are covering the wall, inking the whole body like that, but this is really personal taste, because I think it's nice to have done that, or just not using. But that's it. That's just me.
You know, I like these tattoos and all that, but I can't think of an armor set or even a costume. Maybe there is one that you could wear that would show them off. Like, other than if you were like role playing or whatever and you actually had your shirt off. Actually, I take that back. Some of the pirate costumes are shirtless.
Yes. You have the pirate costume and you have the dark shaman costume.
Okay, there you go. Okay, makes sense. I forgot about the dark shaman. And there are a couple more scantily clad female costumes to show off tattoos, so you could get away with that. So that is the Crown Store offerings for this month. So we'll see them coming up in November. All right, we're back to us again. Hey.
Yeah.
We have one last bit of news, which all of you probably already know, and where most of the co-hosts of this show actually are probably right now, since I was tricked into hosting this show. Skyrim Special Edition came out.
Yes, indeed. It came out.
It did come out. And I know a lot of people are playing it right now. Some people are waiting a little bit because mod support is still not there yet, specifically for some of the bigger mods such as Skyrim, Script Extender, SKSE. That stuff they're working on it, and as of, well, when it came out, they said it was going to be a week or two until it was available, so I know a lot of people were kind of like, I'll start later. An interesting thing that I've heard, and I have not been able to confirm, so maybe someone in the podcast land can tell me on this one, but if you mod your game, it disables achievements from the Skyrim trophy, like the trophies from the Skyrim, or from PlayStation and Xbox. You can't get trophies if you mod it on the console, or Steam trophies if you mod it on PC. Oh. That's what I heard. I'm not really sure if that is 100% confirmed or not, but if you're interested in collecting trophies, you may want to follow up on that before you take my word on it or anything like that. So, yeah, just make sure. But that's something I heard, so I know a lot of people play these games specifically for the trophies, Steam trophies and PS4 trophies and Xbox trophies. They like that kind of stuff. So make sure you follow up. It'd really suck to be like, 100, 200 hours in and not get any trophies because you modded your game and now have to redo it.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, Elloa, that's pretty much it. That's the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not playing Skyrim personally because I don't have the time and I prefer to play multiplayer games. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm very happy for everyone that enjoy it, but that's about it.
Every year I pretty much have to play Skyrim again because, you've seen pictures of where I live. It's kind of, especially right now, it's very The Rift-esque with all the changing colors and everything like that. So every year around this time, I jump back into Skyrim just because I have to do it. And I'll play it for a while. So it kind of is nice that, I have it, and if you had it on PC and already had all the DLC, you got it for free anyway. I already had all the DLC. Yeah. It was not a big deal. So I have it downloaded. It's installed. It's ready to go. I just need to sit down and do it. But between, stuff I'm doing for DCN and hanging out with awesome people like Elloa, I just haven't had a lot of time to sit down and play Skyrim.
Yeah.
But at least I'll make time for it. I won't make time for Oblivion, though. You'll never convince me, guys. I did get quite a bit of messages after I said how much I hated Oblivion last episode I was on. Yeah, a lot of people were like, "What? You hate Oblivion?" Yeah, I do. I hate Oblivion. So I still hate Oblivion.
Sometimes it happens, and not everything can fit everyone, and that's just how it is. To be accepted and respected.
You were saying how you like costumes and stuff because you like the way they look. I honestly think a lot of the reason why I don't like Oblivion is because of the stylized way they created the characters. I guess you could mod it, but I'm a big purist, and I don't like modding my Skyrim game or my Elder Scrolls games because I don't want anything lore breaking. Like, it kills me when I see people doing the better hair mods and stuff like that because I'm sitting there looking at it going, You're in Skyrim. There's no way they have hair products like that to allow you to do your hair that way, okay? It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, or people that put the transformal dragon in Thomas the Little Train, or
Yeah.
or they made their character like Terra character. I've seen someone doing that in Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Or anime character.
Yeah, the anime characters. Yes, I've seen a lot of those. It just, I can't. And the sad part is the Thomas the Tank Engine didn't bother me as much because I'm looking at it going, that's funny. But when they break the lore and the atmosphere of the game for something not incredibly ridiculous, like those better hair mods and the better body mods and stuff like that make you look like an anime character, that bothers me more than the Thomas the Tank Engine. It just does. Well, thank you, Elloa, for coming on. And
You're welcome. It was a pleasure, like usual.
thank you, everyone who does happen to listen to this. I did not do a solo show, even though the voting was mostly positive for me to do a solo show. As of the time of this, it was, like 80% of people said, go ahead and do a solo show. Some people said, wait a week. Well, now I think I satisfied both groups of people because I had a co-host, and it's Elloa, and she's amazing. So if you're going to complain, there's something mentally wrong with you, and you should get checked. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of Tales of Tamriel. I'll be back next week for, hopefully, Ark, who will be still the lead host. He's not going to trick me again into this, but thank you so much, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
A serpent lights the ancient sky, a thread of tainted stars. Evil stirs, and in its wake the souls of mortals sway. And sorrow reigns over fields of red, and spirits pace through the shadows cast by their graves. These are days and nights of venom and blood. Heroes will rise as the anchors fall. Brave the strive, reclaim every soul that belongs to the beauty of dawn. Darkness strikes to blind the strong, but faith will guide our swords. Loyal hearts will stand as one and fight with shields of hope. Pride feels the deadly fire that devours our tower of gold. The drums of war will rend and roar till the sun burns bright once more. These are days and nights of venom and blood. Heroes will rise as the anchors fall. Brave the strive, reclaim every soul that belongs to the beauty of dawn.